Thanks for tuning in to the Suburban Toronto Real Estate Sales Report. I'm Debbie Gonan-Braun from Team Gonan at RE/MAX About Town. At Team Gonan, we specialize in residential real estate in Oakville, Milton, and Burlington, Ontario. And today I'm going to discuss the latest sales results for these three areas. Just a reminder that I use information from two sources, the Oakville, Milton and District Real Estate Board, or OMDREB, and the Realtors Association of Hamilton, Burlington, or Hamilton Board, when compiling my statistics. The June highlights are as follows. The real estate market is definitely strong. The number of sales in all three areas, Oakville, Milton, and Burlington, has surpassed the number sold last year. There were 997 total sales reported on OMDREB for the month of June, and this is up 16.9% from the number sold in June last year. There were 1,587 total sales reported on the Hamilton board, and this too is up by a whole 17.3% from June 2010, and also up 1.7% since last month. New listing inventory on OMDREB remains identical to what it was in 2010, with 1,536 new listings hitting the board. The number of new residential listings that were reported on the Hamilton board for June was 2,232, and this is up a whopping 32.54% over June last year. The average sale price in Oakville is down slightly over last year, however the median price is definitely up from 2010. And the median and average sale prices in both Milton and Burlington are up year over year and are amongst the highest seen since 2008. We are definitely experiencing a hot real estate market, and I will discuss what type of market it is in my conclusions. I've used charts to compare results for each town and city. Again, just a reminder that I'm not only comparing this year's results to last year, but I'm also looking back to those from 2008. In the chart, the blue color are sales in Oakville in 2008, the gold those in 2009, the red are for 2010, and the green are for this year. For June, the results show that residential sales in Oakville were 350, up 27.3% from last year, and as you can see from the chart, the second highest number of sales seen so far this year. The average sale price in Oakville for June was $600,727, and this is actually down 2.6% from June last year. And as you can see from the chart again, even though it's one of the lowest average prices we've seen so far this year, it still remains amongst the highest seen in recent years. As I always mention, I like to look at the median price because to me it's a truer indicator of price, since it's a number that sits right in the middle of all sales, so it isn't really skewed by one or two high or low sales. The median price for Oakville for the month of June was a whopping $520, up 5.1% from last year, and is the third highest for this year, as well as the third highest seen going back all the way to 2008. The number of residential sales in Milton for the month of June was 211, and this is up 49.6% from June last year, and is the second highest number of sales seen in a month since 2008. Milton's residential average price for June was $412,103, and this is up 4.5% from last June, and is the highest we've seen so far this year, and is amongst the highest since 2008. The median price for Milton has broken the $400K mark, coming in at $405 for the month of June, and this is up 10.8% year over year, and is the highest we've seen this year, plus the highest since 2008. Burlington sales have finally rebounded, with 349 residential sales taking place in June. This is up by 12.9% when compared to June 2010, and as you can see from the chart, the number of sales in June for the first time this year actually outnumbered those from last year. The average sale price for Burlington in June was $420,894, and this is up 9.6%, almost 10% from last year, and is the second highest we have seen both this year and since 2008. The median price in Burlington was $378,576, which is up 6.8% from June last year, and is the third highest seen in the last 4 years. So what conclusions can we draw from these results? Well, new listing inventory is starting to increase again in all three areas. In normal markets, if there's such a thing anymore, the number of sales typically peak in the months of April and May, then generally slow down over the summer and then pick up again in the fall market. The number of sales in Oakville, Milton, and Burlington for the month of June, although down slightly from May last month, were still the second highest seen so far this year. This means that the real estate activity was greater in June than earlier in the spring. It'll be interesting to see if this continues in July. The real estate market, as you can tell, is very strong. The average and median sale prices in both Milton and Burlington are up considerably year over year, and in fact some of the highest seen since 2008. And although the Oakville average price is down slightly from last year, the median price is definitely higher. We define the type of real estate market based on the sales to listing ratio. In a neutral market, The listing to sale ratio is somewhere between 24 and 28%. It's considered a buyer's market when the ratio is below 24%, and it's a seller's market when the ratio is greater than 28%. For the month of June 2011, the ratios are as follows. On OMDREB, the sales to listing ratio was 49.2%, and on the Hamilton board, they experienced a ratio of 68.19%, making them both a very strong seller's market, even though more housing inventory did come on board. The best opportunity right now are for existing homeowners who would like to sell their home quickly and for top dollar. This is obviously great news for sellers, but please keep in mind that if you are a move-up buyer, or if you're simply looking to buy another home, then you will most probably experience multiple offer situations when trying to buy that home. It's therefore critical that you have lots of patience and a guidance from a good realtor. What to do next? Well, if you're a buyer that's looking to buy a home within the next few months, I would recommend that you attend one of our latte and learning sessions where we offer free home buyer workshops. It's critical that you understand what the market is doing and what advantages there are for you. Not only will you have a great cup of coffee, but at the workshop you'll also learn about the entire buying process as we discuss all the details from start to finish, and we have presentations by all sorts of people involved in the process. The Home Buyer Workshop info can be found under the Buyers tab at the top of our blog site, www.suburbantorontorealestate.com. If your plans involve buying a home in the future, let's say within the next 6 to 12 months, I would recommend that you start to get home lists sent to you free by email. This way you can learn and watch to see for yourself what the real estate market is doing. Again, if you go under the Buyers tab on our blog site, you can select which home lists you would like to receive. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Suburban Toronto Real Estate Sales Report for Oakville, Milton, and Burlington, Ontario. My name is Debbie Gonin-Braun from Team Gonin at RE/MAX About Town. Have a wonderful day.